The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right. Good afternoon, traders. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the TradeSpoon Live Trading Room, Stocks and Options. My name is Scott. I will be your host, coming to you back from home. Hopefully the quality is better. It's much better on my end. The good news is the girls were victorious, and they are the Far West regional champions with a 26-2 goal differential during the 6 games they played. Ready to go to Orlando in July and compete for a national championship. Very exciting. All right. So, as I said, my name is Scott. I'm the head trading coach here at TradeSpoon. Good afternoon, John. Good to see you. Good afternoon, Faust. Hello, Teresa. It's good to see everybody. I have been trading for a while, teaching for a while. That's me. Here are the disclosures. Make sure you know them and understand them. Trading can be risky. Make sure you understand what you're doing. Thank you, Koo. Good to see you as well. Hello, Phil. Thank you. Good to see you as well. Yeah, I feel like we just get less time together. I miss you guys, but definitely enjoy when we get to hang out. Let's dive right into it. Today's market. Woo, it's a choppy one today. S&P started a little down, went up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, now down a little bit. Minus 0.14%. The Dow up 0.22, barely hanging on to positive. The NASDAQ 0.2 down, and something that we've been kind of looking for to show us a little bit more strength was the Russell. You don't see? Uh-oh. Thank you, Raymond. Hello to you. Thank you. You should see it now. Do you see Yahoo? Whoops. Yes. Okay, good. If I could close that. There we go. Okay, so yes, flat, mostly down quite a bit, 1.5% almost in the small caps. What do we know? Tesla lays off 200, not that big a deal. Bed Bath & Beyond in the end days after dumpster fire. I don't know what that means exactly. What is the dumpster fire? Are they struggling? Brick and mortar model struggling, probably. Stocks mixed in choppy session amid lingering inflation growth concerns. Got it. Getting an MBA continues to be an incredibly good investment. I'm going to recommend my son get one, that's for sure. What else? Oh, there it is. Bed Bath & Beyond ousted as sales collapsed 27%. Yeah, certainly a struggle there. Really not much by way of news right now. We're just sort of like wandering aimlessly as we wait for the Fed to provide more information, more context to see what's happening. What else do we know? Germany seizes. Oh, okay. So now there's seasoned oil and gas, huh? Yeah. Okay. I really think that's really about it by way of news. Let's look at the economic calendar, see what it's telling us, what it says. So today, GDP revisions. So they revised it down just a little bit down 1.6. Gross domestic income revision. Okay, so yeah, that was Q1. That was the if we have a recession, if we have a recession, it's already started. Meaning Q1 is the first quarter, and the quarter that we're in now, and it ends tomorrow. So if tomorrow we then start running calculations and GDP shows negative for a second quarter, that's what a recession is. 2 quarters of negative economic growth. So it's not like, oh, a recession is starting. It started and we're in it if it's happening, most likely, right? Jerome Powell spoke today with ECB President Christine Lagarde. So we have some Fed speak today, but not much tomorrow. We do have a good amount of data, end of month data. So we have some inflationary data, income, spending, the likes. So we'll see that. As you look around and you look at commodity prices, oil prices, gas prices, natural gas prices, as you look around at those things, the commodities have come down quite a bit, right? Oil's down, natural gas is down. Gasoline still seems to be pretty expensive as far as the pumps go. Steel is down, aluminum is down, wheat, corn, soy. I mean, just the commodities across the board. And that's been one of the things that drove it the most. So that's certainly something that we want to be paying attention to. Okay, let's go take a look at how the model sees it. We'll get a quiz in. We only get one quiz a week these days. So the model is actually starting to say we may have a slight pullback, stabilize, and then we have a higher low. So that is something that we've been talking about, is if it's going to be a reversal, the higher low is what we're looking for. What we said last week was if you're going to do something bearish, it's going to be here as it bounces down. And as it drops, if it doesn't keep dropping down, then eventually it might create that higher low, in which case you would be thinking, I need to pare back and shut down bearish trades and then put on the others. So, yeah, definitely. Okay. So let's go through the rest of them. Sideways on the Qs, which is interesting because last week everything was projected to come down except for the Qs, which was projected to go up. But the more something doesn't go up, the more the model starts to say, oh, well, okay, maybe something else. And you can see now we've got more of this neutral bias showing up on the NASDAQ. Same kind of a thing here. Higher low. Not hugely bullish, but somewhat bullish. So we've got bullish on the S&P, neutral on the Qs, the NASDAQ, slightly bullish on the Dow, and let's pull up the IWM. Which is very interesting because, it's showing neutral, which it is for a few days. but it's showing that it may not come down much more than this before it kicks, which would make that a higher low, and then that would make this a higher high. So the model's picking up on some bullishness here, interestingly. And let's take a look at today's heat maps all over the place. Healthcare, pretty strong. Cyclical is mixed. Some of it's good, some of it's not so good. Defensive, very similar. Technology, Apple and Microsoft, the big dogs are pretty good, but the semiconductors look terrible. Financials mostly don't look very good. So, we're not out of the woods just yet. Okay, let's go get the quiz and the VIX and all the other fun things. But yeah, if you look at this does look like, okay, maybe, right? Maybe. I'm concerned that we only got to that level. But, right, we said that's kind of the place where we would want to be getting in if we did things bearishly. This is just one day, and you can see that today doesn't have very much volume at all. So whatever sellers there were yesterday, we're not seeing them as much today, although the cycle does although the cycle does look like it is definitely into the sellers right here. Okay. Yeah. I mean, this was a decent run right here, but so is this. Very similar. And so if it kind of meanders and then falls, right, that would be very similar. So that's definitely still on the table as it stands now. However, if we see this go up, pull back a little bit, stabilize through here, and then turn back up again, I would definitely, you know, and see what we have and what we'll need from there. Okay, so let's do the VIX, and then let's get to, let's do a quick quiz. Gotta do a quiz. All right, let me zoom in a little bit here. Since it's been the bulls, I'm gonna go right here across these highs. And I'm gonna go right here. So we're gonna call it 381 by 380. Above 381, you're an A. Below 380, you're a C. In between 380 and 381, and you are a B. So give me your best guesses here. All right, answers are coming in. Phil is a B. Teresa is a B. LK is a B. John is a C. Bill is a B. Jacques is a B. Faust is a C. Anybody else? Okay. Closing. Oh, A. There you go. Raymond said A. I'm an A. Let's see what Stella thinks real quickly before we move on. Let's go back to SPY. Ooh, Stella says 379.47. Stella is a C. Okay, very interesting. All right, everybody's in that wants to be in. I'm going to close it down. And let's go look at the VIX. So you can see the VIX is down a little bit today. But overall, this is still kind of showing like like we said, this is where we would be thinking about anything bearish. Is the VIX seem to be escalating today? It paused, but it didn't turn around. Right? It didn't turn around. The VIX is giving a higher low as of yesterday, but it's not. It could do this and then turn around and start to go the other way. Right? We're not 100% sure. So okay, let's keep going. Alcoa, you can see Alcoa looks kind of negative here, right? This is what I mean when I say the commodities, like this is aluminum, really kind of peaked out back here late March, early April. Apple. So Apple, in trying to lead the Nasdaq, that was a pretty good size move there. Pulled back. Now the question is it trying? Well, it did the same thing here. It broke up, pulled back, and it looked like it was going to go, and then it fell apart. So let's just be careful with it right now. I mean, it is definitely showing some signs of short-term strength. Right? We're definitely seeing some short-term stability and strength coming. The sellers that we last saw back here really seem to not be coming back. We don't know yet. It's early in the selling cycle, but as of right now. So, if anything, you might be thinking about, putting on a couple of bullish positions to bring balance to the portfolio if you don't have it. ADI, not great. Still not much in there. ADM. See, EDM does not look great to me. It really is struggling to get back above this one bad day right here. AMD. Yeah. AMD, new lows, nothing there in the chips yet. Amazon, so I think Amazon looks okay. We've kind of triple bottomed. We haven't broken out of it yet, but if this doesn't come all the way down, I definitely think that there's a possibility for a trade. I would expect we see something like this, and maybe we see something like this, and then it starts to turn, and that gives this time to come down and turn around. If it just takes off, there's not much we can do with it because there's nothing where you're like, oh yeah, Amazon looks phenomenally bullish. I'm not saying it looks phenomenally bullish. I'm saying it looks like it's trying to work its way out. That's what it looks like. AXP still looks pretty bad. BAC still looks pretty bad. Bros, that was one that we actually talked about putting on a trade back here, and it moved up. Now the question is it going to stabilize at or around this same level and give another opportunity potentially? Caterpillar, it tried for a minute, and now it's just dropping. Does not look great. Here is an oil trade. You can see the oil really looks like it's going to give it back even more so now. Costco. I think Costco is very similar to Dutch Brothers, where it's shown enough that I'm interested in it. But this is just kind of the start of the selling cycle. You can see we need to see how far this is going to come down. Does it stabilize somewhere in this range here where it lets us get into this and turn back around? Yeah, okay. That's I'm thinking about it, right? Maybe by Friday we start to see some of these develop if we continue to see the stability come in. DBC, commodities, oil doesn't look good. Looks like it might be due for more to the downside. Industrials don't look great. The two big industrials, Caterpillar and John Deere, don't look great. The diamonds looks okay. Again, right? This wasn't it. We weren't sure back here, and then it just was like, nope. And then we got another one of these. And so the question is it going to pull back, stabilize, and turn? Is it going to go sideways and then just drop again? We've got a couple of different ways that this can end up playing out. FCX, someone asked, what do I think of FCX and FXI? I don't like FCX. It's at new lows. When the buyers tried to come in, they only got 1 day in. And it looks like it's rolling over from here. So FCX definitely looks bearish to me right now. Now, I don't know if it's enough for me to speculate bearishly, but there you go. And let's look at FXI. FXI, much more bullish, right? So FXI has kind of done this where it got up, came down, higher low, right? That's the first thing that's significant to us, and it made a nice move up, higher high. Came back down, higher low, whether it was here or here. It's basically the same kind of a thing. And then it went up and it made another higher high. Not a lot, but it made a higher high. So now what? Well, now it looks like it's maybe coming down. So I'd let this come all the way to 32 potentially. Let this come down here, give us a little bit of indication of the selling cycle. I do like FXI. I just don't like it today. Okay, so here's gold. Gold is doing nothing. Here's IWM. So we saw, and the model saw it, and in some major market analysis, I saw it, and it was showing back here where like we had the low, we had the higher low, it caught a little bit of momentum, got up, and then just gave it all back. And then from here, trying to come back in. I would be okay with this as long as during the context of this selling cycle, we don't drop more than about, I don't know, 166, 65 or 6. If I saw something like that, then I'd be thinking, okay, maybe. That's a maybe. We're just kind of meandering around in no man's land right now. Jets looks very similar. Meta is not doing much. Someone told me that the PE ratio for Meta is off the charts. So if you're a value investor, maybe you want to look into that. Marvell, new lows. Microsoft. Microsoft is not bad, right? Very much like Apple. It's not bad. We had it down here, moved up. It didn't quite get to the old highs, but if it comes down and it doesn't get lower than this level in here, well, then we may have something for a reversal. Neo looks quite strong. We looked at it as it was making this signal here, did another one. Those are hard. If you didn't trade it, I get it. That's a hard signal to trade with the amount of volatility it has as it comes with that signal. This one was much easier to see sooner. Now what? Now it made another move up, got to the old high back here, consolidating. Old support, new resistance levels. I would say right through here is clearly something. So if it stabilizes and turns, yeah, that looks pretty good. Nicola, new lows, no interest. I'm getting rid of it. It's off the island. We just watch it meander, meander, meander. Nvidia is at new lows. It's even today touching its lowest point. It's just not showing anything. Every time it looks like it wants to, it just has a failure to launch. QQQ is showing a little bit of that same possibility, right? So it's almost like if this was our consolidation, this one failed, but this one maybe could succeed somewhere through here. That's what we would be looking for. There's Starbucks, not as strong as Dutch Brothers, but okay. I think Dutch Brothers and Costco are probably the two strongest. Silver is at new lows. Semiconductors, right? We know the weakness, right? Semiconductors just overall right now really struggling, right? Really struggling. You can see today NVIDIA's down 3.7, AMD 4.25, Micron 3.7. I mean, just across the board, really not looking very strong. Okay. Yeah, same thing. Let's just take a quick peek at where we are in the context of this. So we said between 380 and 381. Oh, look at you guys. It popped up to 381 and a half. And then the sellers were like, no, immediately pushing it back down. We get down here. We tested 380. So bees, you're right on the money with 15 minutes left. Let's see if Stella's changed her mind. Okay. Oh, it looks like she has changed her mind. Now at 2 p.m., she says she thinks it'll be a 380 change. So she shifted from C to B. Unfortunately, like the rest of us, she's locked in. You can't change your answer. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Tesla continues to struggle. Right? It's just kind of grinding it out. Here's the thing is it does feel like we're trying to work our way out of something, but you can't force it. You just kind of have to let it play out and develop and, see what happens. But I do think that looks bullish if it can. I mean, it was, well, let me change that. It feels more like a coil, right? This is coming up. This is coming down. But if we can bounce out of that, then maybe we think it's got the ability to pop up in this range. Still frustrating and humbling. Oh, I think the market will always be a bit frustrating and definitely a bit humbling. Okay. Natural gas, there's that like we said, it topped out, sold off hard. I mean, that looks like it's trying to roll over again. Maybe natural gas is heading back to the teens. But that's a choppy, hard trade if you're thinking, oh, well, should I trade it bearishly? I mean, you could, but you better make sure you like the way the whole setup is. Do I have a stop up here, target maybe down here? That might produce something. I got to say that I still think there's enough chop in the commodities that I'm not really looking to speculate on it to the downside. UNH. So I think United Health has shown a lot of strength. It clearly has broken out of however you want to define that consolidation. But now we're topping out. what would I expect? Oh, I think it could pull back to 500 easily and then turn and give you plenty of time before earnings. Visa looks okay, actually. Visa a little bit looks like it kind of smashed up out of this. Okay, if it stabilizes through here, then maybe we have a turn to speak of. So I'm going to watch over the next little bit of time and see if this starts developing into something stronger than we've seen here over the last few weeks and months that the market has shown us very similar constructs. Here's the VIX. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of in no man's land. The bounce still looks like it's in play. There's really not much else we can do besides that. XLP. Up to a new high, pulling back a little bit. Staples that looks like a V to me. What do you guys think? Which is a little concerning. I don't want to see a V in Staples. Staples isn't going to lead us into a bull market, right? Staples leads us when things are struggling. So that's a little concerning. And so if it comes down and turns for a higher low, that's bullish for Staples, but not great for the rest of the market. Here is utilities. Very similar. I mean, it did only come back in. Whoops, I veered off there. My mind, I was thinking, what a straight line. Right as I thought it curved to the downside. We had a heavy sell-off and then a heavy recovery. Okay, we got to see what it does next. XOM, another one of those big bearish engulfing patterns. So there you go. All right. That's my entire watch list. What am I missing? What symbols are you thinking, hey, you know what, Scott, this looks good. I don't care if it's bullish or bearish. Lay it on me. Let me know if there's one that you are interested in having a conversation about. Yeah, I mean, right? It's tough. Let's do this since we have a few minutes here. I am going to pull up sector rotation chart. Let's just see if there's anything new that we see here. So you can see that even after this big drop, energy has come down quite a bit. Everything else was pretty stable. This one really sold kind of a lot. The leaders still are utilities and staples, with healthcare a little behind utility and materials. But we know that as we change time frames, we see things change and see differently. Still energy leading, utility second, staples third, healthcare fourth. Then we see materials, industrials, and it just kind of drops into all of our growth sectors are down here. Technology, discretionary, communication services, even financials is down here underneath. Now, on this 66 days, on this 3-month chart, we've got energy, which is kind of lingering, but has come back quite a heavy bit with staples, utilities, and healthcare. Then you've got the rest of these guys who are just sort of meandering around. I mean, this is the problem, right? Is when you see this and you say, all right, well, should we start changing our expectations about what the market's going to do next? Not really. Right? It's still overall kind of a weak posture. We've got to see money flowing somewhere. And you can see from this, we're just not. If I go to 22 days, there's a hint. Just a hint. I've got healthcare. Teresa, I actually didn't do it because I was driving home from Idaho Sunday. I didn't get home until late, and I'm kind of behind on it. Yeah, so we kind of started to see through here discretionary and technology trying to make some moves. Just hasn't happened yet, but I would say I'm around a -4, -4.5, somewhere in there. I do an estimation, usually Fridays, just kind of like, oh, I wonder what I'm going to be. That's where I sort of had myself estimated at. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, right. As of now, and what's holding, we are not seeing money flowing into bullish areas of the market yet. Let's do the same thing with major markets. The Dow is up, leading, S&P second, Russell, and then the NASDAQ. You can see this is the most defensive posturing of this analysis, is that order. Now here you saw the small caps came back a little bit, but not enough. Still the Dow leading, still the NASDAQ lagging. So this very much looks like a defensively postured. More of the same here. The Russell tried a little bit, but now it's like, well, there's not much to it. Let's go to 22 days, and you can see on 22 days, well, there's a little bit of just ever so slightly a little bit of hope. Ever so slightly a little bit of hope. The NASDAQ showing a little bit more on the surge. Actually, the Russell's not terrible. You can see it was down at the lowest, and it did kind of pop above other things. It's still a little behind the NASDAQ, but certainly we're seeing better prospects here at this point. But hardly. Right? We don't see it on the VIX. The VIX made a higher low. We don't see it on the sectors. The sectors still show the growth sectors lagging. We don't see it on the major market, other than at one point we see a little bit of a shift. So that's the way that that's the way that we see the market right now. Is it still choppy? Are there still things going on that we're trying to figure out? Absolutely, yes. So in the meantime, what are you going to do? Take a piece here, take a piece there. Make sure you have balance. Make sure you have a plan. Did you guys put any trades on with Vlad this morning? And if so, which direction is he trading with you right now? No? Nobody? Somebody? Was anyone there this morning? If so, give me a quick rundown. FCX bullish. Okay. So he thinks there might be some money coming into miners. I do think that FCX is a strong stock. I'm just very, very sensitive to the commodities right now. Wait and watch mode mostly, Ku said. That makes a lot of sense. If you're going to do something that is in line with your rules, what sector, things like that. So, we're really There's not much you can do to force it here. All you can do is adhere to a plan where you control your risk level and your trading activity level. Vlad believes we're in a trading market, not an investing market. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a few signs right now that show, some things developing. So let's wait and see what and how they develop. I'm gonna go give a gold medal now. Let's go see how we ended with the last 2 minutes of the market. SPY. Oh, it's coming back up. Is coming back up. So I will be back on Friday morning for a pre-market webinar. I hope you can join me for that. Yeah, as of right now, C's, it doesn't look good for you. B's, it looks pretty good. A's, I think it's me and Raymond. It's got 19 cents to go in the last minute. And of course, I'm going to let it go all the way until the end because we've seen it. We've seen it make moves like that before. Oh, no, I don't know. I don't know, Raymond. I think we might be screwed. I think the B's are going to have it. Here in the last 30 seconds, the buying pressure from that candle as it tried. I probably jinxed it by looking at it, but down to the last 30. We know that the last 30 can be kind of crazy, so we're going to let it go all the way. I hope you all are enjoying the summer weather. Maybe it's not too hot. It's pretty hot here, pretty dry. Right? I agree, Raymond. They got lucky this time. Although now it looks like oh no, we're down to the last 2 seconds. And there it is. Bees, congratulations. Congratulations on your lucky guesses today. Say hello to Vlad for me tomorrow. I'll be back on Friday. I look forward to seeing you then. As always, happy trading.